Hey folks, this is Vince with Ads Gaming Addiction, and here we are again with another developer that has censored my content because they didn't like what I had to say. So I recently published a video regarding Stellar Commanders, and I chastised it because the game advertises on the right-hand side, single player. Single player. What does single player mean? Well, I actually looked this up on Wikipedia just to make sure that, I knew what single player was. I mean, never mind the fact that I grew up playing video games and have over 9,000 videos on my YouTube channel. No, I don't know what single player is. But according to Wikipedia, a single-player video game is a video game where input from one player is expected throughout the course of the gaming session. A single-player game is usually a game that can only be played by one person, while single-player mode is usually a game mode designed to be played by a single player, though the game also contains multiplayer modes. So, in layman's terms, a single-player video game is to be played by one person. One person. This is a game where you go into it and you expect, can I play this just alone? Can I play this by myself? Do I have to be forced to play with anyone else? If I can play alone, then it's a single-player game. Okay? Well, you can't do that. Not in Stellar Commanders. The developer wrote back on the Steam forums, and he said, just play the game. If it doesn't find another human opponent, after a certain time, it connects you against the AI. That is what they call single-player. They're hiding the single-player feature behind a forced multiplayer session or mechanic or feature, and that is wrong. When you go into a single-player game, a game that is advertised as single-player on the Steam storefront page, you expect to be able to play on your own without any sort of special conditions. That's like saying, oh yeah, this game has controller support, but you have to beat it with the mouse and keyboard first. You can't unlock the controller until you actually play it with the keyboard and mouse first. That's what they're saying here, and that is really, really shady. I mean, that is... And on top of that, I received numerous emails from the president and co-founder of Blind Flug Studios, and this is what they had to say. So this email comes from Moritz Zumbul. I apologize if I mispronounced that. I'm not from your country. He claims, hi, your claim that we false advertise Stellar Commanders is wrong. It has a single-player modus. Just wait long enough when you start a game. If it doesn't find a human opponent, it connects you to an AI, which is a single player. Please correct your video. We never advertised a campaign mode or something like that. So your video on YouTube, comment, and rating on Steam is not a bad judgment or your personal opinion, but just wrong. And then I responded, I won't be changing anything. I'll be creating another one to show that you censored my Steam review. Oh, that's another thing that I'll get to in a little bit. They removed the two links in my Steam review. The Steam review contained a link to a forum post proving that the developer said that you had to get through multiplayer in order to get to single player. And I also linked my video showing why I couldn't access the single player readily. So I was proving that the game hid single player behind multiplayer, which isn't in the true spirit of a single-player game. He responds, why do you spread false information? And I responded, this isn't false information, you're hiding features behind forced multiplayer. This does not make it a single-player game. He responds, this is what we advertise, and he lists a number of things, real-time multiplayer, fast-paced and quick, blah, blah, blah. You not even tried to play the game, which you are, contraction, video clearly shows. That's just bullying around. You're hiding features behind forced multiplayer. That does not make it a single-player game. He's quoting me. And then he says, so it has a single player. At least you admit that. So this is the kind of professionalism that we are getting from the president and co-founder of this company. So what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that I should probably just stay as far away from this company and this game as possible, because it's complete and utter nonsense that they're spewing. The game advertises single player on the storefront. Anyone looking at that, anyone, will go, oh, this has single player. That means I can go in, I can play against the AI whenever I see fit. Okay? Yeah, it has multiplayer, sure. I admit that. It does have multiplayer. It's probably centered around multiplayer. But when they see the single player tag, they're going to go in there and expect I should be able to play the AI whenever I want to, just like I did. And when I couldn't, I was like, well, it's a good thing I didn't pay for this, personally, because I would have refunded it right there and then. When you see single player, you expect to be able to play single player whenever you want. In this case, you can't. So I would have refunded it had I gotten this, had I opened my wallet and paid for this game and realized that there was forced multiplayer, I would have refunded it right there and then. This is not in the spirit of a true single player game. And here's a quick look at my Steam review. They removed the 2 links that I had showing my original video and the forum post proving that the developers hid this behind a forced multiplayer. So, whose fault is this? Is it the fault of Steam for not making clear what single player actually is? I mean, how technical do you want to get with this? How technical are the developers want to be with this? They added the single player tag going, well, technically, you can play single player. Technically, you can play single player. But that's only if you can't find anyone to pair up with multiplayer. No. That is not going to fly. That single player tag, that tells me that I can play single player whenever I see fit. Not when I can't be paired up with anyone else. I'm sorry, that's the way I see it. I'm sure if I see it that way, then other people may feel the same way. And the fact that the developers responded to me the way they did, it just makes it even more shady. So, I gotta say, buyer beware with this game. I'm sure it's a cool game based on... Oh, and he said in his email that I never played it. Meanwhile, according to my Steam profile, I have 0.5 hours, which is a half an hour, hours on record, and you can't get to the main menu until you complete the tutorial. So I did complete the tutorial. I just chose not to play the rest of the game because, again, forced multiplayer isn't my thing, and I was expecting some kind of single-player element to the game. So the whole you didn't play my game defense is BS because I did play it. I played the tutorial, half an hour, it shows right on my record there. So, buyer beware. Stellar Commanders, just... If you're looking for a single-player experience here, you're not going to find it, despite what the Steam Store page says. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.